For centuries, fire has been a powerful symbol in faith and spirituality. It represents purification, transformation, and even divine judgment. It's the light in the darkness, the warmth against the cold. But this same element, so often associated with enlightenment, became a terrifying instrument of fear and destruction. For thousands of women, the flicker of a flame didn't signal hope. It signaled a horrific end. Imagine a time when being different was a death sentence. This was the reality for countless women who didn't fit neatly into society's rigid boxers. Were you a healer, using ancient knowledge of herbs to soothe the sick? You might be a witch. Were you a midwife, possessing skills to bring new life into the world, a domain men couldn't control? You could be branded a witch. Did you live alone, prefer your own company, or simply speak your mind? These were all signs, in the eyes of a paranoid society, that you were in league with dark forces. These were monopolists, wise women, midwives, and freethinkers were the pillars of their communities. They held knowledge passed down through generations, offering comfort and care where official medicine in the church could not. They understood the natural world in a way that was both practical and deeply spiritual. But this very wisdom became their undoing. In a world gripped by fear of the unknown, their expertise was twisted into evidence of malevolent magic. The witch hunts were not a random burst of hysteria. They were a systematic campaign of terror, fueled by religious dogma, social anxiety, and misogyny. The infamous Malleus Maleficarum, or Hammer of Witches, became the official guidebook for witch. This terrifying book laid out a so-called legal framework for prosecuting witchcraft, and it was almost exclusively targeted at women. It argued that women were more impressionable, more carnal, and therefore more susceptible to the devil's temptations. This wasn't just superstition, it was institutionalized hatred. The trials were a farce. Accused women were subjected to unimaginable torture to extract confessions. Sleep deprivation, starvation, and brutal physical torment were standard practice. Under such duress, anyone would confess to anything. The proof was often absurd. A witch's mark could be any mole or birthmark. The inability to cry under torture was seen as a sign of guilt, as was the ability to float when thrown into water. It was a system designed for conviction, not justice. The image of a witch burning at the stake is seared into our collective memory. This horrifying spectacle was a public display of power, a warning to anyone who dared to step out of line. The fire was meant to purify the community by eradicating the evil in its midst. But in reality, it was destroying knowledge, compassion, and female independence. It was a brutal method of social control, aimed at enforcing a patriarchal order and stamping out any trace of pre-Christian, nature-based beliefs. Reflecting on this dark chapter of history is painful, but it's crucial. The witch hunts were a war on women, a war on knowledge, and a war on nonconformity. The legacy of this persecution echoes through the centuries, reminding us how quickly fear and dogma can turn society against its own people. It's a sobering testament to the importance of critical thinking, tolerance, and protecting the vulnerable from the flames of hysteria. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into a difficult but important part of our past. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.